All right, welcome to episode 62 of Adventures in Inbetweening. Today I am doing my 6th breakdown of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episode that I animated on. This is Season 2, Episode 5. I'll break down 11 shots in 29 seconds.
Well, if it isn't Weasley Little Stinkman.
We found him first.
I'm faster, stronger, more powerful than ever. I feel like a ninja again. If I were you, I'd get my mousers out here now.
Great! More mousers!
All right, you heard the word mousers a lot there, and that's a recurring theme here. Baxter Stockman's mouser robots are after our heroes. So here, Mikey is leaving the screen. We have a mouser coming in. You can see in the storyboard there. Donnie's going to spin his staff around. The mouser goes into pieces, separates the head from the body. There's always more mousers, though. It doesn't matter how many there's an unlimited supply. Here, there's the idea in the storyboard of denting the mouser. Couldn't really be done with the rig, so I just crashed the staff through the mouser there, and I think it worked. Always having secondary motion on the bandana tassels there. Here we have a low focal length. We see how big the mouser is in the foreground. They're actually pretty short. They're like a foot tall. So making them look big means we need the camera low and we need that low focal length. Here's a play blast from perspective view that I'd taken back in the day just to show it has to all work in 3D space, and then we can make that work towards the camera, cheat towards the camera as well. Effects is always added later. That's not something that we're doing in character animation. And always coming up with a dynamic end pose. Let's get Raph in this. Something like that to end. Here we're going to start on Dog Pound's back.
Well, if it isn't Weasley Little Stinkman. 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 Well, if it isn't Weasley Little Stinkman.
Great. So here Dog Pound was bent down. We didn't really know what we were looking at. He comes up, we reveal the face doing that peekaboo that I've talked about before with the kids always like this and adults like it too. Dog Pound has a massive mouth. This is his last episode before he mutates, so really wanting to play around with him as much as we can. Always squashing the eyebrows and the eyes on the blinks there. Overlapping the mouth corners and the jaw, making sure we have a circular motion going on there. Always having 2 frames on the consonants. Weasley Little Stinkman. And you want to keep that mouth moving. You don't want to just keep it frozen on those 2 frames. Here, taking the composition from the boards, you see there's a really strong composition there. It's all about the silhouettes. So here's actually how I started out in primary, and this is what I ended up in secondary. You can see the difference between the two. Primary is functional. Secondary is, the silhouette just pops out. It's so much more dynamic. We have a slow camera truck here. So this isn't a pan. This is actually the camera moving so that we have parallax. We have characters moving against each other and against the foreground. Now Dog Pound's mutated into Razar. Taking the composition from the boards, we're going to pan up with Razar's hand there. There's you can see in the boards there was a rotate on that pan up. It's an up shot, but we still want to see Razar's eyes, so trying to keep at least one visible. Now Razar's hand's going to come into the foreground. Again, we want to play with that camera. It's all taken from the boards. Terrific silhouette on the boards there, so I don't want to lose that. Razar's hand is massive now. Big enough to grab Mikey with one claw. Major contact. Pushes Mikey off in 3 frames. Really had to stretch Razar's arm to make it fill the whole screen there. Didn't want to see his body. This is all just about the arm coming in. Reversing Mikey's line of action as he gets pulled off. Now Razar is going to do his monologuing, talking about, I'm faster, stronger. I feel like a ninja again. Look at the complex silhouette we get. We don't even have to work too hard to give Razar a really cool silhouette. He's so bony, and he's admiring his body here, lifting Mikey up in with one hand on screen right there, keeping him alive as he's talking, as he's tightening his grip on Mikey there. As you can see on the boards, though, Razar was drawn a lot more meaty, a lot more muscular. So here Mikey's kicking to be free. We couldn't get a closed fist on Razar. We always had those empty spaces where the bones of the fingers were. That's just part of the design. I like how Razar's going all internal here. He's thinking to himself, it's what at least it's like to be a ninja again. When I talk about going internal, that's just somebody thinking to themselves, and their acting is going to reflect that. Lots of overshoot and settle here. Now we've got Fish Face here. Now Zever mutated into Fish Face. Baxter built Fish Face's robot suit, but Fish Face still doesn't like Baxter, obviously. So he's threatening to mutate Baxter as well because Fish Face didn't want to get mutated. Here we've got the overlap and follow through on Fish Face. Really clear silhouette here. I like how that one turned out with the knives. Now Fish Face is going to reach behind his back. This is a story point that's going to be played again in a minute. And he's going to bring out the button. The button that will cause all of Baxter's mutation bottles to pop there. And he's just threatening. He's not saying, I'm going to push the button. He's showing, I'm going to push the button. That's so much more effective rather than saying, I'll mutate you if you don't do what I say. He's just saying, you better do this, and it's all implied by the actions. So he's going to do the same thing Fish Face did. Reach behind his back, pull out a one-button device, and just start pushing the button. It's all very simple mechanical devices here. And as he pushes the button, overlapping that finger, boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Mousers are going to attack. So here's Leo and Donnie. They're getting ready with their weapons, staff and sword against the metal mousers. Here comes one on screen left, coming in towards Leo, charging at each other. Again, low focal length, so the mousers seem really big in the foreground. And we think the one on screen right is going to attack, but another one comes on from screen right. Now we see the slice here separating again the head from the body of the robots. Robots are great because you can destroy them and nobody's actually getting hurt. This one goes off into the distance as Donnie hits it there. Now we get another one coming in from screen left, another one, the one on screen right comes in. And so Donnie's getting 2 in a row. Leo gets number 1, Donnie gets 2 and 3. Now this breaks into 3 pieces here. There was, I think we could separate the head, and there's another one chopped by Leo. The head, the body, and the 2 legs. I think we could break them into a maximum of 4 pieces. Here's 2 more coming in, the last 2. You can see they're all ready. Yeah, Donnie's got his staff dragging here. You can see how it's stretching out behind him. Boom, hits the mouser right there, and it's going to knock him off to the side. Batter up, he's got the baseball swing going on. At the same time, Leo is switching to a backhand there as Donnie's following through. And so Leo can do just a stylish move where he's spinning around, slash, bending that sword, dragging it behind. Again, slicing the mouser's head off. Keeping the sword in silhouette as much as clearly as possible. Making everything, keeping everything alive, keeping it moving. Here comes the mouser back into the foreground. And we end them in their heroic poses. Now, again, this is taken from the board, so let's have a look at the boards and the different iterations here. Here's storyboards. Pretty much all laid out. Here's layout, just keeping it really, really simple, just getting the placement of the characters. Here's primary, breaking it down on 2s for the most part, and here's secondary at half speed. So you can see what's clearly going on. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, I like that scene. That was a lot of fun to animate. And last but not least, we got Razar chasing down Mikey. Mikey's running from Razar here. Getting some great ideas in the storyboards. Got to go with that. It's, once the boards, boom, hitting the fist on the ground. Once the boards have solved problems for us, we don't want to abandon those solutions. We can come up with new solutions and spend a whole bunch of time, or we can spend our time making better animation with the solutions that already exist. You can see these shadows here. This is terrific work by LRC. Again, it's a pretty empty set, so those shadows do a lot to help us fill things in. Boom, Razar hits the wall as he overshoots Mikey there. He's still getting used to his big gangly body. Now he's going to reverse the line of action as he comes off the wall, chasing after Mikey. Mikey's going to go flying off screen here. Razar is still coming after him. Razar never fully leaves screen here. And this is from the boards. I really like that idea. And Mikey's going to land now at a higher altitude so that he can face off to Razar, literally face to face, just like the boards. And if you want to see what happens next, you'll have to go watch the episode, Season 2, Episode 5. And that was, didn't even mention that Mikey got, the episode's called Mikey Gets Shellacne. terrible teenage affliction when you're a turtle and you get Shellacne, but Mikey powered his way through it, and it was a lot of fun to work on. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you next time.